Hello, creators. Registration for our next Wellness Center Creators Retreat opens September 1st, 2025. And we'd love to have you join us in person in Vancouver, Washington, September 22nd through 25th in 2026.
We've only got 20 spaces per track, so be sure to check out the options and see which one fits you and any leadership team members you may want to bring along.
If you register before the end of the year, you'll get the early bird rate plus some new VIP perks.
All the details are at wellnesscentercreators.com/retreats, and we can't wait to see you there.
Before we get into today's episode, I'd like to take a moment to chat about our sponsor, Jane, a clinic management software and EMR. Your evenings and weekends should be spent with loved ones, not chasing down your patients and clients for payment. That's why Jane has designed a secure payment solution that helps reduce the amount of time you spend manually following up with patients. Clients can save their credit card details and insurance policy information securely through your intake form, which can then be conveniently processed after your time together. And if they've got an outstanding balance, you can send a payment request via email or SMS that allows your patients to pay off their balance online from the comfort of their homes. To see how Jane can help you reclaim your after-work hours, head to jane.app to book a personalized demo. Or if you're ready to get started, you can use the code WELLNESS1MO at the time of sign-up for a 1-month grace period applied to your new account. Hi there, and welcome to the Wellness Center Creators Podcast. I'm Kendall Hagenson.
And I'm Anna Rudell. We're thrilled to have you join us on this journey of creating innovative, patient-centered wellness centers.
As experienced health and wellness providers, we've seen firsthand the challenges of delivering comprehensive, holistic care to our patients.
That's why we created this podcast, to share the knowledge, strategies, and insights we've gained from our own experiences and from connecting with experts in the field.
Each episode, we'll dive into a different aspect of building and growing a successful wellness center, from developing a strong multidisciplinary team to implementing cutting-edge technologies and treatment approaches.
We'll also share practical tips, resources, and real-world examples to help you overcome common obstacles and streamline your processes.
Our goal is to empower you with the tools and confidence you need to create a thriving wellness center that truly makes a difference in your patients' lives.
So whether you're just starting out or looking to take your existing practice to the next level, you're in the right place.
Get ready to learn, grow, and be inspired. Let's create something amazing together.
Welcome to the Wellness Center Creators Podcast.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Wellness Center Creators Podcast. Today on the show, Anna and I are going to talk about energetic leakage. Hi,
Where's
Anna.
your energy leaking, Kendall?
Where is your energy leaking? We want to talk about this as leaders, as CEOs, as business owners, as practitioners. Where are you allowing your energy to leak out in places that you don't want it to be, right? Whether intentionally or unintentionally.
Yeah. I think that changes over time typically, doesn't it? Like,
yeah.
What were you like in the beginning of business, Kendall? Were you a 24/7er?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Beginning of business. Well, my older daughter was 1, and her and I would go around town and be setting up a studio, getting stuff off Craigslist, the whole thing. And I did everything, I answered the phone, I cleaned the bathroom, all the hats in the very, very beginning. We did have someone volunteering and helping us a little bit behind the scenes, but it was mostly, it was me. It didn't last very long, though. I learned pretty quickly, like, all right, we got to figure out a way to pay someone to be at the front and managing like the physical space. But I definitely did it. What about you?
Well, I'm curious. I will answer that, but I'm curious what the first thing you gave up was and the last thing you've given up has been.
Oh, it's such a good question.
Isn't it? I just came up with that.
Yes. Okay. The first thing I gave up was probably answering the phones.
Mm-hmm.
And the most recent thing I've passed along. Ooh, that's a tricky one. I know what I want it to be.
What do you want
Soon.
it to be?
Well, soon. I've passed off payroll before, but I've taken it back. So I need to pass it off again. But maybe supervising. Yeah, I think the answer would be in the most recent phase, it would be that other people are supervising the rest of the staff and I'm supervising the leads. And that's been that way for a while, but it's become even more refined and it's working much better in recent phases where, we have a lead for the support staff team. That is not me. And we have a lead for medical and a lead for massage and all those things. And so that might be the biggest impact one. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to have to answer too.
Okay. So first thing I gave up, I think might have been bookkeeping, entering the receipts, because I was a notorious procrastinator with that. Yeah. So I would leave it for about 6 months and then have to do, it was not my jam. It's too detail oriented.
Oh, that 85% of our listeners are nodding their head with you right now of, oh yeah, that's totally normal to do.
Yeah.
Is leave it for 6 months.
Stacks of receipts in the old days, right? In Ziploc bags.
Oh, for sure. That's how we did it,
Yeah. Yeah. So that was definitely the first thing to go. And then the most recent thing to go has been payroll. And that's been, on the one hand, really wonderful. And on the other hand, quite difficult to let go of because more mistakes happen, I will say, with me doing the payroll. Yeah.
They do. It's just true, especially for a small business.
But not being responsible for them is quite nice. So I can sort of say, oh, I'm sorry that happened. Let me check into it immediately and get back to you. So it's nice having that triangulation of the energy around it, because I would feel absolutely terrible if there was even so much as 1 cent off for any reason. But now I don't.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one. So in your role now, let's say over the last year, right? You're at a high level in your career. Your business is running really well. What are the points that you've noticed over the last year where you've kind of woken up one day and go, oh my gosh, my energy, I'm moving towards burnout. I'm allowing my energy to leak out.
My leakage. Ooh. There's been quite a few of those points, especially with starting the massage clinic.
Yep, because you started something new. You expanded your business. That's a big leaking point, energy leakage point.
Yep. And was doing what needed to be done. So I wouldn't take it back at all, but was working 7 days a week for months on end.
Yeah.
So definitely not putting back in what I was taking out in terms of energy. And then the same as you, and I don't know if it's the same area of energy leakage for you, but with that ongoing hiring. So we've just hired 3 practitioners to the space, and it's just, even though I'm not involved that much anymore, there's still a lot to coordinate.
Yeah. I think that's a big one. Recruiting, hiring, interviewing in a small business and in our type of industry. It's like, it's never ending, but it also isn't necessarily a full-time role to hire someone into. And not that you would be able, like most clinics wouldn't be able to afford a whole separate position that is just recruiting and hiring, right?
Right.
You can pay third-party companies as on a fractional basis to do this for you, but there's usually some type of disconnect because they're not really in the industry. So I feel like that's probably a really common one where owners are going along in their workflow and they feel like, okay, I have my boundaries, I'm taking care of myself, I'm doing the work I want to be doing. And then here comes a phase of hiring and it
Mm-hmm.
wipes out, the flow of it, really takes you out of balance.
Mm. Yeah. But what's good about it is, having done it so many times, I'm not resentful of having to
Yeah,
work 7 days a week for a few months.
same,
It doesn't
same.
matter. It's okay, because I know in time, very soon, there will be the opportunity to take time off
Mhm.
and recuperate as needed. And I know what about you? Tell us more.
Yeah. I definitely align with like the recruiting phases, pull the energy, and we've talked about that quite a bit on the podcast. Um, I think when I look historically over the years of the company, what I've gotten a lot better at is saying no in general and
Mm-hmm.
and putting stronger boundaries on my time. For example, I was communicating with someone to set up an interview recently, and I give them like 3 times to come to the interview, and their response is, "Well, I work during those times. I won't be able to come, but I could come in the evening or a weekend."
Yes, yes, a very common one, that one.
And I just responded and I said, "My workday ends at 4:15 on Monday through Thursday, and this is the latest time I can do on one of these days. And would you like to interview?" You know, and we figured it out, right? So I think in the first couple years of the company, I would have been coming in on a Sunday to interview someone,
Right.
right, to accommodate their schedule, and that's just silly and ridiculous. And if you're applying, if you want a job, you're going to have to take time away from your current job to go interview. It's a very common thing to do. Um, so yeah, this expectation that people are going to just accommodate. So I've gotten better at that. I think back over the years, it's mostly been saying yes to things that I really knew in my body that I needed to say no to or wanted to say
Mm-hmm.
no to. And even coming into starting the business, I had a really strong boundary with having been diagnosed with MS at age 20 that, I learned pretty early on, like, well, you can't overdo it or you're going to really regret it and you're not going to be able to function. So I came into the business with this like really strong, like must care for
Mm.
self, hold my schedule, all these things. But once you bring employees into the mix and everyone has their own life and stuff going on, and it's much easier said than done to hold your boundary in that
Yeah.
way. And so I think earlier on I was definitely, and because I was super directly supervising every single person, that I would pick up the phone in the evening when I really didn't want to and I didn't have my best energy and it wasn't my best self, right? And now it's like my team knows these are the days I work, these are the times I work, and if you're contacting me outside of that time, it is just to let me know that the building has burned to the ground and the fire department's already there,
Right.
right?
Right.
It's a true emergency, right? And when
Mm.
people contact me and it's not an emergency and I've asked them, let them know like that's not an appropriate thing to chat about, right? Or reminder, your direct supervisor can handle that one, right?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't need to be me. And so we show people how to treat us. We show clients how to treat our business. All of those things. We show our staff how to, respect boundaries and vice versa. I'm trying to think if there's a super recent example. I think I'm always just reminded that I'm working with some new clients and we're really in the beginning stages of imagining their business and they're so, and they're going to hear this episode and they'll know I'm talking about them, but they're so mindful about the approach, to the business and the fears that they might have later on. And they're starting the business as a couple and they're already thinking, well, we don't want to get to burnout. We don't want to get to all of these things. We don't want to use our energy for things that we know is not healthy for us. And it's so beautiful, right? And what I was sharing with them is like, and what I've learned so much over time that I think you would agree with, when you own your own business, there's always something that could be done, right?
Mm-hmm.
There will never not be something to work on.
There will never not be a list.
There will never not be a list. So what's the difference if you work on it on Friday night or wait till Monday morning or Tuesday morning, right?
Yeah.
There's no reason, right? I think with my personality is really, I grew up, I'm a recovering perfectionist, I like to tell people. And you might describe me still as an active perfectionist.
Well, I would keep it to myself if I would.
I saw your face. But if you would have met me before, you would see. And I think a lot of business owners also have that sort of like high anxiety profile. And it's like, what if it was okay to set it down? I like to tell people one of my favorite mentors in my life. She was my dance movement therapy supervisor. Her name is Chelsea, and she passed away several years ago. But I remember before she passed away, she was supervising me and I was starting my private practice. And she said, Kendall, the most important thing I want you to think about is when are you not working?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You have to choose that. You have to be intentional and choose that of when you're not working. It sticks with me all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Comes back to my mind.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that it's interesting, isn't it? Because the conversation about procrastination can go hand in hand there, because I think oftentimes we put things off that really could be done in the moment, but we want them to be done perfectly. And then we forget that done is better than perfect.
Yes.
And,
I was just reading an article about this.
Yeah. Tell me more.
Well, it was pointing out that we use more energy putting off the task than we would just completing the task in the moment, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, obviously that's true, but it kind of struck me for some reason over the weekend. I was looking at it going, oh my gosh, because I had this list of things. I don't know if you do this, but it's like, oftentimes as business owners, the like personal list of like, I need to call this pharmacy or I need to do this doctor. And it's like, and in my life, I have a fair amount of medical things going on. And so there's always like a pharmacy to call. And
Right.
I've often said, like, I need an assistant who just handles the pharmacies, but it's highly unrealistic. So I just have my husband help me. But but this idea, I had this list of like places to call and I kept putting it off and moving the list farther down the line because I'm tired or they're closed or they're whatever. And I was like, Kendall, just call the number and leave a message. Right?
Yes. Yes.
Like you're not going to get to it during the workday tomorrow. So just call the number.
Call the number.
And then it's gone. And then I can throw away the Post-it.
Yeah. I had that experience on the 4th of July week. It was a forced at-home week because of the situation with summer camps and what have you. So I'm like, I'm not going into the office. I'll be at home if anyone needs me. Well, knowing that week was coming up, what I ended up doing was literally just throwing, the bits of paper that come into the company that need some sort of response, or the thing that needs scanning, and all it needs is the right label so it can be filed in the right place in Drive, whatever, just a whole bunch of these things. And so that week I had scheduled at home just became so productive because I literally had the opportunity to do the thing, call the number, file the chart, whatever. That then I was sitting down chatting with Cam, and I said, I think I need to schedule an admin week so that I can throw all those things, the physical things, in a folder called admin week, or I can create something online that I just throw the email in for admin week.
Yeah.
And so yesterday actually went and scheduled out. I only need once a quarter, I think will be more than enough.
Yeah, that's what you're
Once a
saying. I think
quarter.
it's such a great idea.
Yeah, I'm just going to do an admin week. It's the only way for me, I think. And because it's now scheduled in the company calendar through the end of 2026, there's no excuse that it won't happen.
I love it.
Well, there's plenty, actually.
Well, and it's just a testament, like, how do we prevent energy leakage, right?
Yeah.
Being intentional, being like, how would we be with our employees? Intentional, clear, like we have to be that way with ourselves all the time.
Yeah.
Or the business will take over and life will take over. And especially if you have kids, like it takes over. So it's that reminder to come back to being intentional. And your admin week once a quarter, right? That's not a vacation, right?
No.
So then you also are scheduling those times to actually be away or go do fun things that you've been wanting to do. And Ann and I were talking before we got on the recording that I took my first flight lesson over the weekend.
So exciting.
And I was up in the air. I literally, the wave that came into my body was genuinely, what a privilege to be here in the air. Right?
And you were calm and you were relaxed. And what was in your body?
Just calm, just gratitude, right? And we live, I live in the Pacific Northwest. It's one of the most beautiful places in the world. And I was really thinking that up there, I've had the privilege of traveling to some very beautiful places. And I was sitting there looking down going, well, this is one of them. This is one of the most beautiful places I've ever been to. And I live here and I've lived here almost my whole life. Right. But not once in the air did I think about my to-do list of work or home. I did not once think about, any staff issues or any worry, right? I'm focused and present with, let's learn how to steer the plane, right? And what do all these controls do? And let me learn something new, and intentionally giving myself space to learn a new skill or start to learn a new skill. It's a very long process, but to have a clear mind, I mean, not a blank mind, but a clarity, right? Of this is what I'm doing for the next hour, and it's all I need to be doing. And I think people can sit there and say, like, well, yeah, that's easy to do. Like I go out and have fun all the time, or I go out on the weekends, or I rest on the weekends. And it's like, well, number one, are you doing that? Or are you thinking that or did you used to do that? And now you're a business owner and you're not doing that because you're working 7 days a week. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny. I get that same feeling as you were describing it when I'm in a swimming pool doing laps.
Same. Yeah.
Same thing. Yeah. Just focusing on that kick or focusing on that stroke or whatever, just taking the mind away from all those endless to-do items.
Of course, any type of exercise or meditation, but even in meditation, it's, I think those to-do list things can come in. And the other thought I had, which is completely off topic, but also important, when I was up there was like, you know what? It's this type of thing that is going to help prevent dementia. It's this type of thing that's going to help my mind stay sharp in learning new things. at an earlier stage than getting to retirement. And this is top of mind for me because our medical director did a presentation for us about prevention of dementia and how preventable it is if you start early enough, and there's studies about, right, of if someone went to college, but then they stopped learning new things after that, they have a higher incidence of developing dementia than people who didn't go to college, but are learning like a new skill every 5 years or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I feel like being an owner of a business is quite good for that because I feel like we're constantly learning new skills.
That's very true. That's very true. But something so different, right, than I'm not used to using my brain for. And I realized in that moment, like, okay, this is like a whole schooling situation. If I was actually going to move forward and get a pilot's license and do the skill, it's like, it's a lot of multitasking and technical skills to learn.
It's a lot of knobs and dials.
There are knobs and dials.
Well, I'm so proud of you for going up there because your pilot looked particularly young.
She's 22.
22.
I'm not. Yeah, she wants to be a commercial airline pilot. And she said, I'm working towards it. I can't apply for an airline until I'm 23. That's the youngest you can be. And she was a rock star and knew everything. And I felt so safe with her. It was just a fun, also kind of connection because she's our medical director's next door neighbor. I happened to be placed with her for the instructional flight, and it was just kind of a fun connection. Lisa, our medical director, she's known this girl for 10 years as like a young child, right? And teenager. And so it's wild, right, to see your people grow up and do awesome things. But it was pretty cool to have a female instructor. And yeah, for those who don't know, my dad's been a pilot my whole life. And so he was super excited.
Oh, that's wonderful. I'm so happy you did that.
Yeah, me too, for sure. And it's just, yeah, I think it's that reminder to myself to just do the thing. I mean, we've had some loss in our circle recently and like some sudden loss. And it's always the reminder to do the thing that you're interested in doing or that you've been wanting to try, or call the friend, tell the person you love them, all the things.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing.
Yeah. Thanks for hearing it. And we encourage our listeners, take do a little inventory of where's your energy leaking and where are those gaps that you want to fill, and let us know what you're working on. We love hearing about it.
Yep. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in to the Wellness Centre Creators podcast. We hope you found this episode informative and valuable.
If you enjoyed the show, please consider subscribing and leaving a rating and review. Your support helps us reach more health and wellness professionals like you.
For additional resources, show notes, and more episodes, visit our website at wellnesscentrecreators.com.
We'd love to connect with you and hear your thoughts, experiences, and questions. Feel free to reach out to us through our website or social media channels.
Once again, thank you for listening. We appreciate your dedication to providing exceptional patient care.
Join us next time as we continue exploring the world of wellness center creation. Until then, take care and keep making a difference.
Thanks for listening to the Wellness Centre Creators podcast.